Anything else? The female mechanic cried further. The 10, feeling again wrecked her brain, answered softly. Actually, now that I think about it, I do now remember vigorously that my team was about to send Snapchat to be permanently banished. She then added softly, he was going to be sent to another dimension as his punishment for his vile crimes against the city. Another dimension? Hope quickly asked several seconds later. Wait, was the portal open during your fight with him and his men? Kitty racked her brain a third time, and then racked her brain for there was a vague image from her past memories in her mind, replying with a gasp. Wait a second. Yes, it was open. Another member of my team had just activated the switch for us to toss him in, but we never got the chance. His men quickly ambushed us from behind seconds later, before we could deal with Snapchat appropriately. Then what happened? Hope inquired, now more curious than ever. I don't know for sure, the 10 feline answered, quickly gritting her teeth in frustration, placing her hands on her head as she did so. The last thing I remember was something being blown in my path when I ran towards Dolly to help him, giving off a bright light in response. After that, everything's a blank. So you really have no idea what was that So you really have no idea what that object was? Hope asked with an arch eyebrow. Unfortunately, no, Kitty answered with a heavy sigh. I wish I did. Hope then gave her opinion about it, starting with placing her hand under her to think. Well, since I found you with burnt clothes and heavy smelling of smoke, I think it's safe to say most likely it was an explosive of some sort. You really think so? The 10 feline inquired. Suddenly, due to the shock of the blast, her mind was unable to determine what it was, due to her memory being very fuzzy now. I don't think I know. I don't think it. I know it. Another voice said from a distance. Kitty and Hope quickly turned around, startled, and then there was her doctor standing in the doorway of the hospital room, with the gun commander right behind him. He walked in. The doctor started filming. After doing a full CAT scan on the Mobian cat, I quickly discovered from the test result that she had been hit with a large blast of fire and gunpowder from the left side of her body before going unconscious. That's why she's currently suffering from a severe case of memory loss. After hearing that, Hope said to Kitty, now turning to her face, so it really is true. A heavy explosive jarred your brain upon detonation before you came here. That would fully explain why your clothes had parts of your fur burnt and smelled of smoke. As the 10 feline pondered this over, Hope added, the blast must have knocked you into the portal, which would explain why you're now in this world. After hearing that, Kitty could not argue with her assessment one either. Hope then said after a brief pause, there's one thing though that's deeply puzzling me about this whole thing. What's that? Kitty inquired. Why was that portal coordinated right here? The female mechanic asked. I mean, I know you would send an arch nemesis to a place like this intentionally. Again, Kitty couldn't argue with this point. So tell me, how did it get aimed at our dimension's coordinates then? Hope asked again. It doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't at all, Kitty replied softly, thinking this over more intently than ever. But I sadly don't have an answer for that. Before Hope could respond to her statement, the doctor cleared her throat, saying to them, I hate to break up the discussion here, but I have something I need to tell your new friend here. What is it? The female mechanic inquired. Well now that Miss Katz was awake and alert, the doctor explained, I need to run a series of tests on her by tomorrow morning to see how soon she'll be ready to leave the hospital. Why is that so important that it couldn't wait until later? Hope asked, now flashing an arched eyebrow at him. Because Miss Kindlebar, the doctor answered firmly. I was instructed by the commander to have her moved out of this medical facility the second she's well enough to leave. What Hope now was offended by the news, even strongly feeling neither of them really cared about Kitty's condition at all. I'm sorry, but that is my orders, the doctor told her. He then started with another clearing of his throat. Anyway, I have other patients to attend to. Good night. The second the doctor was out of the room, Hope looked at Commander Tower with a deep disappointment in her eyes, saying, Sir, how can you act so cold now? You act like you can't wait until you get her out of here. I am sorry if I offended you, the gun commander replied, but you do have to realize this is not a shelter for those well enough to walk out of here, right? This is meant for injured gun soldiers and agents. Hope did understand, but protest nonetheless. But sir, Miss Katz was suffering from memory loss. She didn't even know her own name before I told it to her. Plus, I know she has no home of her own, since she came from another dimension. So where is she supposed to go? Not wanting to look cold and heartless, Commander Tao answered domestically. I don't mean to act like I don't care about her problems, Hope, but this is not something I can really help her with. Since she's a Mobian, I think it would be best if she was transported to a part of the planet where many of them reside. They can give her the proper help that she needs. Hope wasn't convinced at that at all. I can't just let her go there without someone trustworthy to take her in. She's clearly is a lost soul now. Someone would take advantage from her partial state of amnesia. While Commander Tower pondered this over, Hope added, Plus the Republic of Acorn is heavily at war with Dr. Eggman. She would be stepping into a landmine of conflicts newcomers would never want to be a part of. The gun commander clearly couldn't deny this, but replied nevertheless. I can understand your deep concern for her well-being, but like I said, this is something I cannot help her with. I'm sorry. Hope left. He wasn't that sorry. Hope felt he wasn't that sorry for not lifting a finger to assist in assistance. Commander Tao soon added to try to act diplomatic again. Miss Catwell will be allowed to stay at least until tomorrow afternoon. Maybe by then we can find a place for her to reside here. Assuming anyone would want to take her in, of course. Hope sadly knew what he meant by that. With, with very few Mobians in Central City, not many humans would be that willing to take a creature they considered filthy and a bit of a mutant. Commander Towers then said after a long pause, while turning his head towards the door, "Anyway, I must be heading back to my office. I'll leave you two alone now to work something out. Good night." And with that statement, he walked out of the room. After he was out of sight, Hope said to Kitty, and with sympathy in that voice, "I apologize for Commander Teller's harsh words, but he sadly is right. Mobians are looked down upon here." Kitty ironically wasn't offended by it at all. Instead, her mind was mostly still processing about her past memories in top building, trying to make heads and tails of it. Seeing her in deep thought, Hope said with an awkward expression, "Well, I hate to go now myself, but it's getting late. I need to go home and get some rest." Kitty understood this completely, replying, "Sure, go ahead. I have a lot of thinking to do now anyway." Hope then turned to leave, saying, with looking back at the tan feline as she held the door open with her right hand, "Take care, feline. See you later." Before the female mechanic could take 3 more steps, Kitty said to her out loud, "Hey, Hope." Hope quickly turned back to look at her, replying softly, "Yes?" Try not to sound too mushy," but the tan feline said to her with a faint smile on her face. "Thanks for rescuing me from before. I guess I owe you a lot more than I even aware of now." Hope couldn't help but flash a smile back at her. "Telling Kitty, you're welcome, Miss Caswell. Happy to be a help." "Please call me Kitty," she reiterated warmly. "There's no need to be formal around me since you saved my life." Hope now flashed an even bigger smile at the tan feline, replying with a silent nod. "Sure thing, Kitty. Good night." "Night." Hope then softly waved goodbye to Kitty with her right hand and quickly closed the door behind her. Once she was gone, Kitty now did a lot of soul searching within her, thinking to herself with a heavy sigh, "Wow, I really don't know what to make out of all this. So much has happened since coming here. That is a bit overwhelming to take in now." Not surprisingly, she then pondered further while looking out at the hospital window at the sunset. I wonder what Hope meant when she said I'd be stepping into a landmine of conflicts when mentioning that place called the Acorn Republic. Is it really that big of a hotbed for battles and wars? As much as there's info about Mobius piqued her curiosity, something even more important caught her attention again. She soon thought after a long pause with a tear in her right eye, "Oh, Dudley, I sure hope you weren't killed by Snaptrap and his men. I would never be able to live it down if you no longer amongst the living." Sadly, with no way of knowing of how to get home and perhaps save her partner, the tan feline realized she had to make the best of her current situation, now trying not to dwell on the horror of a memory too much. "Well, since I'm stuck here, I might as well at least try and play that nice girl for her generously in the meantime," Kitty commented